So I redrew, and I have to admit things weren't really as bad as I thought they were. And I blew up on the photograph this corner over here so that I could see what the heck was going on. And so now I think I know what's going on. Although actually this line can't be right because it doesn't go with that line. So, and this can't be right either. It's got to run downhill too. And the other thing I just want to mention is that because I'm filming, I'm working with way too much light on my canvas, which is making me paint darker than I would if I didn't have so much light on my canvas. And I wanted to show you another use I've found for my viewfinder. So I'm trying to make sure all these lines are really straight up and down. So what I can do is use my viewfinder to make sure it's lined up against the straight edge of the paper up here, and then draw a line that's actually is parallel to this side of the paper. I can do this because I did not cut this paper. It came this size. If I had cut this paper, I don't know if I would be able to use the side, but otherwise you can use a ruler and you can measure 2 points. You can use a triangle. A transparent triangle is an excellent thing to help you draw houses and make sure things are right. I noticed some things that I had wrong before, that there was a side plane to this door. I've got it drawn a little big at the moment, but hopefully I can fix that. And that these windows were too high up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to start with the sky. And I almost always start with the sky. It was the first thing I did when I started my painting. And so, yeah, I don't know. I just always seem to work in that same order. And what I'm going to do is I've sprayed it a lot and it got quite a bit darker. So my plan here is to bring up the lights. And even though it's such a strong blue sky, I always feel like, wow, it's so cold, such a cold color that it needs something else in it too. So I'm just looking for something that I could add that would warm it up a little bit. I don't want to go all the way to yellow, but green is a good choice because, you know, green is got a little more yellow in it than, you know, green. You make it by adding yellow to blue. So I try not to think about stuff so analytically, but, you know, sometimes, I mean, I'm trying to explain the choice to you. It's not like I really sit there and think, oh, I'll use green because green is blue plus yellow. And, you know, I can even use something lighter. I just don't want it to get, I could use something warmer. I just don't want it to get too light back there. It does seem like it's a little lighter right near the roof. So I didn't pick the lightest yellow or pink I have. I picked something that was a little bit down in value. Okay, and now the roof. Actually, this might have been a really good thing for the roof, but and the reason I'm going to do the roof next is because it's touching the sky, so I'm hoping that will help me by comparing those two colors next to each other. I can get the most accurate thing for the roof. And I don't know if it's accurate or not, but I definitely like that. Oh, there's a really big hunk of paper up here that never got covered. And luckily, someone noticed that there's something else really weird going on in here, like another dormer or something that I did not even notice. I knew I was having trouble making my roof line up, and that's because it doesn't, in fact, line up. But I'm just leaving out that extra little bit because it's just seems like it's going to be so hard to explain. And it's right behind, and I have no idea actually what it is, and I'm not there, so I can't kind of walk around and try to see it. But it's just, you know, you don't want too much junk going on in one little place, like tree limbs and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna, now I've kind of forgotten what's over here, but okay, it's fine. And this window I'm gonna make, this is just the same color I just used on the roof, so. And now I'm correcting the drawing. You just can't exaggerate the importance of a fresh eye to your painting. You know, you can do all you can with your drawing, but it's just, there are still problems always. So having a fresh eye, coming back and redrawing when it's like a whole new day, that's really helpful. All right, I do not know if this is going to be what I want at all, but I'm going to try this green. And since none of it came off, and I know that was a pastel I've had a while, so I just rubbed it on the side of my board, which is almost like sandpaper after being sprayed a billion times, to get some of that little surface sort of oxidization or whatever happens on the surface of the pastels when you've had them a while and haven't used them. All right, and I'm going to try to make this side slightly different than that side of the building. And I have another new plan that I'm kind of trying to do now. I was thinking I was being so clever and putting all my pastels that I'm using for the painting in kind of one pile over here outside the box. And that was possibly a step up from what I was doing before, which was just kind of flinging things back, because I would use them and then I would just fling them back in the box because now I was done with them, so who cared? But so now my newest idea is that I'm putting them back more in the section they belong to. So like right now I'm using a violet, I'm going to put it back kind of with the light violets. And I'm hoping that means I can have a better time finding things. And now I want to do this edge of this door. So this is going to be a little lighter on this side, I think. Oh, no, is that true? No, actually, it's the face that's the lightest, so maybe this will be okay then. I've decided I just don't have the control I used to have, and, you know, I'm going to try to think that that's positive, since I can't seem to do anything about it. Yeah, you wanted to be looser? Great, just lose control of your grip here, and then you'll be looser. Yay. And then maybe that's also like, be careful what you wish for. Oh, I wish I was a little more casual. Well, guess what? So maybe it is time to switch over and start using some pastel pencils. It's just, I think I'll have to buy such a huge set to have all the colors I want. Okay, so I'm trying to have three things going here. I'm having the door, the part of the door that faces me here, the part of the door that faces that side, and then the part of the sill that's in shadow. And I'm really trying, I'm actually just kind of working at my normal speed. So that just might mean this ends up being a 4-part demo. You know, four hours is probably, to really do a real painting, 4 hours is what it takes me. A painting this size. Okay, so I was thinking that would be good, but it's too light. So I need something like that, but not as light. So I'm thinking the only thing, I'll just try some olive green in here. So I want to have a lot of contrast in my light and shadow, but also I do really like Monet's idea that you have, it's the envelope of light. So what that means is that the lights and darks are not completely so separate from each other, like in a painting that's more like a Renaissance, or a painting that's done in the style of Caravaggio, where the shadows are really dark, really black. And that's why if you look at a Monet in black and white, you'll see that there's not hardly any value contrast in his later ones, you know, as he got to be a more mature style. I am keeping my little door colors here in one little place, so I can maybe find them again if I need them. And I don't want to work on any one area too long. I realized I was getting kind of tied down there, because the things have gotten so dark. So I just need to come back and start to lighten things up so that I can, you know, it's hard to compare things now. I don't want to get too carried away working on this and then not be comparing it to my other colors. So, okay, and that's even a little better. That's just a little bit lighter. Okay, and of course I could lie a little bit and say that actually there are no window frames around the windows. They just go right back in. This is such a California style building for here in Rhode Island. Okay, so I'm trying not to focus on drawing and try to just keep looking at what I need to do with my colors. And I definitely need more reflections in this window. And over here too. And I decided I was just going to bring the window all the way back up. It was too short to be where it was there. Well, it's a hard habit to break, just throwing things, and then also just trying to put things sort of back in their color family so I can find them again. Right, so decided this was the roof of a little building right here. Well, not the roof, the side of a little building right there. And then whoa, that just kind of crumbled in my hand, but okay, so kind of messed that up, but so something like that. And then there is a door in here that I'm going to let be really dark. And then the rest of that building heaven only knows what color I'm going to make that. Okay, so something like that, but not that dark and not that brown. Okay, but this line needs to go down more. I don't know exactly what happened to me over there. I redrew this stuff, but I didn't really think about the perspective on it. Okay, but now that's something like that, and just need it to be darker inside that door too. And maybe I'll put a few darks in the windows. Okay, so it's not perfect, but I feel like that's better. And the house is better. I think the colors are a little better. There's this damn shadow right here. And there are more shadows on this part of the house. Shadows from these trees, I guess. And oh, I think I started the shadow on this side of the house with turquoise. All right, so now I'm gonna put the leaves back in the trees and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I decided that I don't really want any light on the leaves up here. I think it's just distracting. And I'm trying to break up the leaves enough that they don't look like they are started or stopped by the trees. So I'm kind of extending some leaves behind the trees, and I accidentally put that one in front, and really I need to extend it behind. So I'm gonna, and here too, I put it in front. So I'll come back and in a minute, and when I work on the trees, I'll make sure I get them in front. But I'm trying not to let my leaves in just lined up with a tree branch, with the roof, with the sky hole. It's a lot to think about. And if it's too much to think about, then just don't think about it. And you can always come back and say, okay, now I'm on patrol for places that are just tangent, just touching each other. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to deal with that and not think about color or anything else while I fix those problems. So that's generally speaking what I have to do now. I can't seem to take care of all my problems at once. Okay, so, and you know something, I did something wrong on my drawing up there, and this part of the tree is just really too long, and I really don't like it, but I don't like it so long. I think I don't know what I did wrong, but I don't know. I just also think I can't do anything about it now, so I'm just going to try not to worry about it. Up there went a few of those purple flowers, just got obliterated. But you know what? Maybe it was too much right there with the flowers and the trees and everything else. And sometimes, like the last two colors I used are, there's some brand of softer pastels. And they cover it all up so much, and I don't want anything to look like I just put one color in it. So I just feel like I have to come back and add some more stuff to that in both those, both the tree in shadow and the tree in light. Because it covered up what was underneath it so completely. So I don't think you would really think I was getting any closer to the finish here if you just looked at my technique and stuff. I mean, I feel like I'm getting the colors a little better. But let's see if I can get just a little more light on that part, places in the house. Let it get all a little too blobby. And then, of course, what happens is that it gets, you fill it in and then you still don't get it right, and now you've filled it in again. So, and then for me, what that means is, well, either I just put it in the pile of stuff that's never going to see the light of day, or I have to spray it again. And definitely you do not want to spray this paper more than this Pastel Premier. I don't think it works that well if you have to spray it. Like I could spray it one more time, but that would be it. Even now I feel like I'm having some issues. I kind of like this idea of this red on the edge of the roof. It's not true, but I might like it. I don't know. I guess I knew it was red when I picked it up, but I feel like I should have known better that it was red. I get that tree back in front. And now I've got this like line right here, which I've left in as a hard black line, but it is not. It is a line where the roofs meet each other, and I guess we're just going to have to maybe believe it. And I think I'm going to add a little violet-y to that color over there. That is my favorite one. No. Okay, try this. Missed the edge. All right. Okay, so let's see. I want to get rid of these charcoal lines. Yeah, not all the windows are the same, I don't think. Some seem to have edging and some don't. So I don't know. And sometimes I pick my color based on that. Here's a pastel that has a nice hard edge to it, and I know I can make a hard edge with it, like the edge of a window or something. I know it's going to behave itself. And I'm going to use it here on the door too. Ooh, weird window. Okay, so hoping maybe if I put a flower in front of that. Push those back a little bit. And here we go, using the same color on every one again, just because it's so difficult. So, you know, you might do that, what I just did. I might do it. Ugh. But then I do definitely at some point want to come back and try to make I'm just going to force myself to say, okay, I'm going to use a little orange on that one, a little orange on that one, a little orange on that one, and that is it for using that little bit of orange. And then maybe I'll use a little bit of pink, another pink. But I won't use it again. Do something to tone that window down back there, and here too. So how do you keep things drawn accurately and also push them back a little? Feel free to answer that question. Trying to make those guys come forward a little more. Oh, good, I could make my cosmos a little more brilliant. Should have worked on that next, but I will right now. Just looks lacquered from being sprayed. So I really think the thing is I've been using a bottle of spray that was getting, you know, older and older and getting further and further down. And I was having to spray longer to get it to cover it like I needed it. And so then I used it up and I switched to a new bottle, and all of a sudden it sprayed so much on it so quickly that I didn't kind of plan on that. And this is not the first time I mentioned it, so I made the mistake more than once. So I'm just kind of pointing it out to you to think about that. When you've got a new bottle, you can try to kind of focus a little bit on how it's going to react differently when you spray. This green, I just want to add a little pink to it. Just have a little more feeling that the light is hitting it, maybe. I don't know. Okay. And I'm even going to come lighter in here to make these come in front more. And bring that up a little bit too. I don't want that just to feel like it's running right off the edge of the paper there. I mean, running downhill out of the painting. And I'm going to work on that next. Actually, I need to do that. The background, I need to get that bush back in there. It was really smart. I just made it the exact same color as the building, so no, that was not really smart. So now I'm going to have to make it greener again. Corner of my painting. It's just, I think I should plan to cut off the far right left-hand edge of everything I do. This is such an old Rembrandt. It's incredible. It was from the days when they made a stupid design decision to put a white wrapper on the paper on the pastel so you couldn't actually see what color the pastel was. Okay, well, that's a little better. So, let's try this in here. Just trying to create a little volume so that doesn't look like a flat shape, even though it's all in the shadow. Trying to make a little variety in it, and you know what, I'm going to bring it on over here too. That is a Winsor Newton, which they appear to be making the Winsor Newtons again, but they're just not the same as they were. So I haven't bought any of the new ones yet, but I'm not sure I can recommend. So I cannot recommend them yet. Before I used to love them, and if you could get an old set on eBay or something, it would be worth it to. I've been trying to remember to do that, kind of peruse eBay, and I haven't found any good art supplies yet on Facebook Marketplace, but I've been looking at that too. Okay, so got to do something to keep you from looking over at that corner. So I think what that something is going to be is some more flowers. Can't figure out kind of how to make the top of that. Maybe that's better. Oh, wow, an interesting thing is I've never painted those. Never painted those oniony things like in the studio. And I've always thought that one thing that really helped me in painting flowers outdoors was that I'd painted so many bouquets of flowers indoors, but I've never done a bouquet that had these guys in it. So I wonder if that's part of feeling like I'm having more trouble with them. Yeah, I did all that to kind of make them different from each other, and then I just took the same color and made them all the same again. And I'm wondering, could I add some things in these greens that weren't just green? That suddenly made me want to come back over here and work on these yellow flowers. And that leads me to this dang fence over here. All right, and I drew in a few more of these, tried to draw in a few of these elephant ears over here. This garden is professionally maintained, just so you know that it was just perfect all last summer. Every time I was there, it was perfect. And I met the gardener a few times, and yeah, this doesn't just happen, this garden. All right, so now I am just trying to, I don't know, finish it is really what, just do some enough that it feels like I could say it was finished. I just hate these. It was the thing I really wanted to do in the picture, and oh, but you know what they're missing again are they really benefit from their stems. I've got an extra stem with no flower, but I could put a flower up there. Maybe I will. And I am using a few of my more expensive pastels, but really it's just mostly the Rembrandts. Like this is a Rembrandt right there. This, however, is a more expensive pastel. And just trying to draw a few little flower shapes in there. Okay, so now I'd like some flowers to, some leaves to come back on top of some of the flowers. I would like something even darker. All right, and then those dang leaves. I think those elephant ear things, I think they have to have more. They're so big. Okay, just cannot find the right color. No. That was so bad right there. It really shouldn't be that warm a color. I don't know if you remember what I said a while ago, how I know when I'm done with a painting, when the things I do to it, I have to go back and undo. Like, that was ridiculous. And that violet in there, I really like it, but it's just too much. Just need a more nondescript dark. Still not feeling good about this, so I'm just gonna see. This is the one that's bugging me the most. So just come back and there's a little more detail in them, and a few more of these pink flowers, since there's only one. And then the other thing is, you gotta have something. There's gotta be some little dark if everything else has got light and shadow, you can't just leave these little thingies. Even though they're tiny, they need a little feel of a shadow side, even though now some of them I'm going to have to go back and put the light back in. It's a little better. All right, see how that color pops out? I just don't know if I can fix it now. That roof. Okay, it's a little better, and so then maybe I'll see what else I could do with those leaves. Maybe not so much light in them as, not with that. I guess they just have to have some light on them, don't they? Because light is landing on the tree trunks, so. That is not looking bluer. Oh, I love it when you unwrap a pastel and it just crumbles. And that the more you unwrap it, it just keeps crumbling. Okay, I got a little piece. Let's see if I can do anything with it. Can you hear it dropping as it falls apart in my hand? I almost never feel very good about what I'm doing, especially, you know, like right when I'm finished with it. I have to come back and see it later to, you know, if I'm going to feel good about it, it's going to be later, not right now. And that's why I don't consign things to the bone pile. On the day I do them, I try to get a little distance from it first because otherwise, you know, it's just hopefully it's not as bad as I think right now. But also, like, weirdly, I'm sort of need a break, so I'm just going to stop and just say that's it for this painting. For this painting at this time. Yes, I just do not like that. So maybe what I should do is something about that tree. There's such a long unbroken line up there. and a lot of pastel on it, so. So I don't know, maybe taper it some more or something. And get rid of some more of it with the sky. That was not what I thought it was. Yeah, did I say I was going to quit? Just something not right about that. The drawing on the tree it's just not right. And oh, here you are. Okay. Yeah, and I hate the color too, so like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? Okay, well, I am really going to quit now. It's like little weirdo things from Dr. Seuss. You know, and I don't know, I don't think I can actually, can I draw those in? Yeah, sometimes you just got to put in a little detail in the windows and stuff, or it just looks, I think it just looks silly. But every single one of them is different. The number of panes, I just do a little bit. Okay, I'm really quitting.